afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. I'm Fleur, and welcome back to my little corner of the internet. I am so glad that you're here. Recently, we hit 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is so insane and cool, and I thought that we should celebrate with an updated personal Q&A. A lot of you guys requested an updated Q&A, and I let my Patreons vote for what they would want to see as a celebration video, and this is what they voted, so it's what we're gonna do. I asked you to ask me questions on Instagram, so I'm going to go through those and answer them. As you can tell, there's background noise. I'm in my new place. I'm really sorry about it, but I can't change it. It's a constant noise, and I'll start filming at a new location soon, but I wanted to get this video out, and I hope that it won't be too bad. If so, let me know. I'll never do it again, but for now, I hope that it'll be okay. First, I wanted to answer some questions that I get asked all the time, so that we now have the answers out for everybody at once. I've mentioned this in videos before, but I am 24 years old. I live in the Netherlands. I'm 5'10". I'm 178 centimeters. And my favorite color is green. My zodiac sign is Aquarius, Sun and Moon, and a Gemini rising. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, I asked my Patreons and YouTube members to ask me some questions. So let's get into those, and then I'll just go on to your Instagram questions. What is the age gap between you and your brother? If you didn't know, I have a younger brother. He's 2 years younger than me, so he's turning 22 in May. He's now 21, but he'll turn 22. Your favorite ASMR artists? We're starting off with hard questions. I have so many that I admire and that I love watching. I will always rewatch Jingle Jangle ASMR videos. She's the epitome of a comfort channel to me. I love Haley Jean, obviously. I love Quiet Kai. I love Ray ASMR. I will always love Soft ASMR, Juliet X Babe, ASMR X Babe. The OGs, Gentle Whispering, Sarah Lavender, they're all such inspiring, beautiful women in who they are and how they present themselves, and yeah, I love the content that they make, but I also just really admire them as people, so I love watching them, and especially with like ASMR X Babe and Soft ASMR and Gentle Whispering. I've watched them for years and years and years, and it's so cool how much you parasocially kind of get to know someone and get to watch someone grow and yourself grow as a person and like kind of grow along with them. And I don't know, that's the cool part about the internet, I think. But it makes the ASMR experience that much better to me. Have you ever experienced psychedelics? No, I have not. I have a heart condition, so I've never done any hard drugs, and I never will, because that's scary for my health. If you could go anywhere, where would you go? And then another question was, what things from other countries do you want to try or experience? For example, what's a place you want to go, or a country-specific food you want to try, and why? I've said this before, but number one on my list is Norway. I want to see the country so bad. I'm yearning to go to Scandinavia. I really am. Yeah, that's where I want to go. Any country-specific foods that I want to try? There's nothing that specifically comes to mind, but it's also 7 a.m., in all the time. When I'm reading, when I'm watching TV, like it's all input, and I need to put something out, so it just happens. But when I am creating, the motivation to film does come from a concept of a video or an idea that I have in my head, or having everything that I want to say already in my head and I want to get it out. You see how it's like it's in here and it has to come out. That's my biggest motivator. Okay. Moving on. How is your burnout recovery going? Thank you for asking that. That's really sweet. And how has your mental health been? I've seen, etc. You guys are so nice. I have been doing really well. I just moved for a second time. I was subletting an apartment for 3 months from January till March, and then this month in March I moved to a room in a house with roommates. I just wanted to experience that again, but it takes a toll on my physical and mental health to move. Obviously, for everyone who has ever moved, you can probably relate. It's such an intense experience. It's always very ungrounding, even though this is the 4th place in the city that I've lived in now, but it's hard to figure out how to ground myself again in those times. I feel like, because when I lived at home, I had a lot of ways I coped with things, and so on top of with moving, coping with the emotions, I'm also figuring out new ways on how to do that and what that looks like for me, and that's hard and takes some adjusting. But for me, it really helps. I've talked about this before, but it really helps for me to really surrender to it and sit with it and just let it happen. Because I've fought these types of feelings for a long time, and it makes it harder, so I would get really frustrated and a lot of anxiety. Well, now I can breathe through it a lot better, and therefore the process of finding my feet again goes much quicker, and that's really nice. I still struggle with my energy levels. I think that that's the biggest thing, but I've done so many things again. I've been to a concert for the first time again, went to bars, saw friends, but everything just goes at such a slow pace. For example, today I'm only filming and then maybe seeing a friend in the afternoon, but I told them, like, I'm not sure if I'll be able to because I have a lot going on, and when I have conflict with someone, which came up recently, that really takes it out of me for a bit because there's so much emotional stress, and that burns me out very easily. So I'm doing a lot better, but I still have to be very careful, and I'm rediscovering my boundaries now in a different setting, and that also takes energy. So I've been okay, but it has been hard, so I hope that answers the question. Did you always want to be a YouTuber, or did it just happen? Okay, so I think teenage me always wanted to be a YouTuber. I've always loved it. I've loved making little videos. I had a little YouTube channel with a friend at one point. I've always loved video making, editing, talking to a camera. I always thought that if I would do YouTube, it would just be music. But then ASMR just happened. That really just happened. And now I can look back and tell my teenage self that we did the thing, and that's a really cool feeling. So I always did kind of want to be a YouTuber. I didn't know that I would want it in this form. would you want to do an interview about ASMR content and books? I don't know in what setting that would be. I feel like this is an interview about ASMR and books. But sure, yeah. Would you ever travel to the United States? If so, where would you want to visit? In the future, yes. For now, not really. In the sense that I've gotten a little bit more scared of travel than I was before my burnout, so I don't really see it happening anytime soon. Ideally, yes, I would love to. I would love to go all kinds of places. The East Coast, West Coast. I want to go up north. I would love to go to Canada. You have such, my Americans, have such a wide variety of landscape available to you and climates, that I think it would be so fun to spend a long time there. If I would want to go to the US, I would love to go for 3 months and just have the time to explore it, to visit some friends, maybe do some ASMR collabs. Let's be real, that would be fun. So, in the future, yes. Now, no. How do you deal with the pressure of being a content creator? I don't feel a lot of pressure. Rarely do I feel any pressure, and if so, it's the pressure that I put on myself. And the reason I don't feel any pressure is because I feel like this is an amazing community, and I think that we all value mental health in the same way. So I feel like if I were to say, hey, I'm not uploading for 2 weeks, the majority would be like, okay, sad, but you do you, and we'll see you when we see you. And that gives me a lot of peace. However, financially, things changed for me, and YouTube has become a bigger part of that, and that does create pressure, because you want to work with the algorithm, obviously, and you don't want things to suddenly go downhill. I don't know. So that's hard to navigate sometimes, but also interesting and new, and like I don't feel pressure in the moment. I feel curiosity or internal pressure. So what are your career aspirations? Good question. I have no idea what I want to do with my life. I want to work with people, and I want to help people feel better about themselves. Probably I would love to go into therapy or coaching or empowerment coaching, or just maybe youth work again at some point. But I think I would love to do one-on-one work more. But I don't know. There are so many options. Let's see. How do you get ideas for your videos? I love them all, thank you. I get my ideas from other creators and from videos that I've watched in the past. Things that are on my mind or on my heart, or that I'm seeing online, or that I'm going through, or just want to share. Yeah. I think that looking at you like, was that what I wanted to say? I think it is. Mostly that, yeah. And sometimes, you guys, when I ask you for suggestions, I get a lot of requests in the comments, so I'll pick from those and try to find some middle ground in what the people want and what I want. So, how do you pronounce your name? I hope it's not too rude a question to ask. That's okay. You pronounce my name as Fleur, so kind of like blur, but with FL. that. He's not with me. Like, I went on a date with a guy, and we went to a bar. The way I put my phone down, like, okay, we need to talk. And we were just chatting. It was fun. I was like, oh, this guy is pretty interesting. And then he started talking about how, yeah, it's really hard for me to find clothes that fit right because I'm very ripped and my thighs are so thick because I work out so much that it's really hard for me to find the right clothes. And so, I want the sleeves to be tight but not too tight in the shoulders, but then I'm also tall, so to find things that are long enough, it's really hard for me. And it's shitty when you can't find clothes that fit. Okay, period. Yeah, sucks. But the way that he was talking about it was at such a layer of ego around it, and that was the biggest turnoff ever. At the train station, he tried to kiss me, and I was like, no. And then I texted him like, hey, I want to leave it at this. Thank you for today. And then he also just started texting me a bunch of crap about how the brain is easily manipulated. I could have you fall in love with me anytime. Like, he started spinning it the way that he he rejected me. And I was like, are you trying to gaslight me because you are not really good at it and you are annoying me so much, and I'm so worried about your mental health. So, yeah, I mean, good riddance, but safe to say we didn't speak ever again, and I don't ever want to hear from this person again. That was weird. So, yeah, that was definitely the most interesting one that I have. Getting chills thinking about it. Does Taylor Swift inspire your style in music and appearance? I know that a lot of you are going to think so because I'm blonde and have bangs, but no, not in style. Okay, let me get this out of the way. I love Taylor Swift and I admire her so much as a songwriter and a performer. She's a machine, but also still a person. I absolutely do not love her style. It's not my style at all. At all. So, like, Folklore and Evermore, yes, I think that would be a lot more my vibe. I love her, like, long dresses, from what I've seen from her concerts. She has a couple of, like, long, one-color dresses. They're great, but all yeah, no, she really doesn't. In awareness up, and yeah, it's a unique moment in your life, and you have to make the most of it. So that's what I would say. What do you study / what kind of job do you do? I studied to be a pedagogue, so I am a pedagogue, and I worked as a youth worker. I'm still on sick leave from working in general and focusing on recovering, so currently I am a part-time YouTuber. That's my work now, sort of. But I am looking into what I would want to do, but I'm taking my time with it, and I'm very lucky to, in the meantime, have YouTube. My favorite music genre, definitely folk, country, pop things. It's just always what I come back to, definitely mostly folk, and Americana also. And then someone asked who or what got you into country. That has to be my mother. She's a big country music fan, and when I was 17 I had my exams in high school, and that's the first time I performed a country song on stage with my mom. At my high school we had a banjo player and everything, and that felt so good that I was like, yeah, I love this. Would you ever come back to working in pedagogy, or have you closed that chapter for good? I would, maybe someday, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm open to it, but I wouldn't know in what form or what field specifically. Do you have any advice for content creators on how they can grow their YouTube? I don't know. I think I'm relatively new, so I might not be the best person to ask. I think, sure, titles and thumbnails are important to get something catchy that's not too, am I in focus? Have I not been in focus the entire, I don't know. Anyway, whatever you make, whatever type of content it is, I think the most important thing is that it's genuine, because in that way your content will, just, how do I say this? I think the more genuine you are, the more you'd want to continue to grow and want to make videos and show up online and interact with your community. And I think that that's ultimately what grows your channel, is engagement, right? And so I think the more passionate you are about what you're putting out, the more you'll automatically want to engage, and so you will engage, and that way it will grow. Connecting with other creators and getting that, kruisbestuiving, like crossover in your community. Really feel like you have a little community. I really feel like I have ASMR friends, and I value those a lot, and they inspire me and keep me motivated. And yeah, just get creative, and sometimes do something that is more generic, and sometimes do something that is more niche or unique. Don't put yourself in a box in the style of content. That is a very, very specific conscious decision that I made in the beginning of my channel. Was I'm not going to be a beauty channel, I'm not going to be a book channel, I'm not going to be a guided meditation channel. You're watching me, and you're watching what I make, and then you can decide what content clicks with you and doesn't. And I think that that's the most long-lasting thing to put out, is put yourself out there as a person, even though that's scary and vulnerable. I think that ASMR specifically is a very safe space to do that and to show up as you are. So that's what I would say. Just have fun and play around. There's really nothing to lose, and enjoy every step of the way. I have so many. In the beginning of my channel, I would screenshot my YouTube studio page every day. I now have 20 subscribers, I have 25 subscribers. Look at this comment. I would send them all to my brother. I was obsessed. I was having so much fun creating and just really submerging into it. Oh, I loved it. a city camping trip. Always. I love a good little city trip, but I love camping. So, definitely that. Did someone you know in person randomly found a video of yours by coincidence yet? I don't think anyone has ever accidentally found my videos that I know of. All the people in my life know about ASMR and know that I make ASMR. I haven't had anyone accidentally or coincidentally find them and then reach out to me. More so that people that I knew were watching and then did send me like a text like, hey, I watch your videos, but not in the way of, oh, I accidentally found your videos, how do you do that? That hasn't occurred. How did you learn to do your makeup? Any recommendations or tutorials or channels? Nikki Tutorials is definitely someone I watched. I watched Michelle Fan a lot. Fam or Fan, I don't know what it is anymore. I watched her videos all the time. I watched so many creators, beauty creators, Desi Perkins, Katie. I love them so much. What other beauty channels? Nothing else is coming up, but there are so many beauty creators out there. Just follow a bunch of tutorials and try a bunch of stuff. Just experiment and have fun, and if it looks shitty, that's fine. You try again later. The world is your oyster. Just go crazy. Are you a social person, or do you prefer to spend time without people? I think that on the extrovert-introvert spectrum, I'm an ambivert or something. I think I'm more of an extrovert. Like, I love spending time with people, but I need my alone time to process things and recharge. I learned that about myself pretty late. I always thought I was just an extrovert and I wanted to be around people all the time. But I was avoiding a lot, and it was way too overstimulating. I'm definitely a highly sensitive person, so things just feel intense very easily, and someone's presence can be very intense, and I need to come back to myself and discern what's mine and what's not mine, and just process my thoughts and emotions and recharge and read my little books. And I really value my alone time as much as I value social time. I would have loved to answer more questions, but it's getting busy outside, so I have to stop and hopefully find the audio quality not being too bad. Once again, I am so sorry about all this noise. I hope it didn't bother you too much. I'm figuring out ways to make video making work in this new place. It's hard and frustrating, but I'm sure that I'll figure something out. I will hopefully see you soon. Here is your forehead kiss. Thank you for sending me your questions and for being here. And here's to